Hello, my name is A.Landsaw, and this is my video book review of The Sonic Boom by Joel Beckerman. In The Sonic Boom, Beckerman explains in various ways the importance of sound in marketing and in our everyday lives. Every day we hear many different sounds, and we pay so little attention to how much they actually impact us. Beckerman describes how important it is for marketers to not overlook sound, and how it can impact purchasing decisions from consumer to consumer. People don't realize just how much sound actually impacts us from a subconscious level. Beckerman talks a lot about boom moments, which he describes as when the right sound or music is deployed at the right moment to communicate this information and emotion and help you recall memories and forge new experiences. He talks about how businesses who want to create these boom moments need to make sound and music meaningful to the customer and meaningful in the right ways. Beckerman provides some great examples of the successful boom moments and companies that did it right. Take the Disney example. The company plans out every sound to create an optimal experience for the customer. All the sounds from as soon as you get into the parking lot, whenever you're standing in line for the bathroom, or when you're standing in line for the next ride. Every sound is meant to create an exciting and lasting experience. As a marketer, I found this book to be pretty interesting. I used to work for the WNBA, and so much was revolved around sounds. When shooting in-game promos with players, which was required for the players, did they seem like they wanted to be there, or did it just seem like it was something else that they had to do? What type of atmosphere was it going to create? When the team stepped foot on the court, what was the audience going to hear? What were they going to see? Better yet, what were they going to feel? How do we pump them up when the team's down? All these questions were constantly going through our minds. I'm a true believer that sound impacts people, their emotions, and their buying behavior. In an article on the New York Times blog titled A Sound Approach to Marketing, the author opens up this article with an example of a focus group that they did on paroled felons who served prison time. They were trying to determine what were the most memorable things about prison. And it wasn't just the jail cell, or it wasn't the prison yard. It was the sounds. The sound of the jail cell closing, the sound of the ceiling fan going round and round and round every day. That's what impacted them. Beckerman provides a pretty cool example of his experience with the NFL. People see and understand the end result. The actions, the sounds, the visuals. What they don't see is all the work that goes on behind it. Beckerman did a good job lining out the details and how every second is thought out and analyzed. He also talked about how each station had its own unique sound when it got the opportunity to showcase the Super Bowl. CBS talked more about the legacy, and Fox talked a lot about being over-the-top, superhuman-like gladiators. It identifies how each brand has to learn to develop its own brand identity, and not just the look like we think, but the sound as well. In an article on the Content Marketing Institute website by Colleen Fay, she illustrates the same concept. She states that one of the difficulties of managing a brand content strategy is making sure that with everything that you're putting into it, a coherent, meaningful, and distinctive message is being created, and if applicable, at the heart of it all, sound. Fay talks about how, when conveyed properly, sound and music creates great clarity for the customer and for the brand. While I agree with most of what Beckerman is talking about in this book, I feel there are things that could be improved upon. Throughout the book, Beckerman calls out some pretty big players in the marketing industry: McDonald's, Apple. He talks about how there are missed opportunities because of their lack of sound in their physical stores. While there's no way to really determine this outside of actually testing it, like marketers like to do, these companies put a lot of time, effort, and money into their marketing practices, and for all we know, they have tested it out and determined it's just not in their best interest. But I'm guessing, just like he is. Also, with this book being all about sound, I feel Beckerman could have done a better job illustrating this using sound. I understand the physical limitations of a print piece, but I read this entire book on my iPad, and it would have been pretty awesome to be able to click on a link to hear one of his NFL scores. I do agree that sound is very important as marketers, and this book does a great job educating us marketers on it. People are pretty set in their ways, but as marketers, we have to constantly adapt and be on our toes. As Mike Volk said, don't be afraid to get creative and experiment with your marketing. That's a pretty good way to view marketing and life. You never know what type of results you're going to get.